Welcome back, this is Goku Sun DBZ, and this is a new game review. Now, it's a game I've had for a while now, in fact, almost 2 years. This is the review, better late than ever I guess, but this is the game review for Dead or Alive 6, or DOA 6. Now, of course, I have only played the PS4 version, I haven't tried the Xbox One version. So I can't say, though I'm sure there's really no difference between the two. With that said, first thing to know with Dead or Alive 6, a few points, pros and cons, if you will. First off, yeah, you can get like a base core version of the game now for free, but you're not really going to have any real content. You will have to pay for story mode, and pay for the characters and everything. You only have like otherwise, or they'll charge you to unlock the roster. Personally, I recommend, rather than going with the free core version, I recommend just go out, purchase the physical game. You'll get all the base roster automatically and all that, plus you'll have the story mode and all the basic content automatically right off the bat. And you can get this game nowadays for not really hard to find. This game for probably more than 20. I mean, some places might be 30, but I'd say you shouldn't have too hard a time finding this for 20 bucks. So, yeah, it's definitely a good time if you haven't played Dead or Alive 6 and you've always enjoyed the Dead or Alive series. I recommend getting Dead or Alive 6 now. And with that said, quickly I'll give a few cons and then I'll get into the better parts of the game. First, cons. One thing I feel is really lacking in the base version of the game is the extra characters and stuff. It's unfortunate that you're going to have to go out and buy each DLC character individually. That gets pricey when you add up the price. Though, to be fair, if you only care about the extra characters and you don't care about the crappy costumes and stuff like myself, you won't spend an insane amount of money compared to some of those dimwit idiots out there that buy the costumes, because you know they wouldn't keep releasing all those freaking hundreds, if not thousands, of DLC costumes if there wasn't somebody out there somewhere actually spending hundreds of dollars to buy the costumes. You know that they're only going to do it if they know they can actually get money off of someone. That is the only way that they're going to charge, is if they know they can get the money. So that's something to keep in mind, and that's sad there are people out there that actually might spend that kind of money just for costumes. Now, with that said, some of the basic cons out of the way. How are the DLC characters? Quickly, I'll get that on that, and then I'll talk a bit about the story mode and everything, overall the mechanics. First off, the DLC characters. How good are they? How solid? I have personally got all the DLC characters that have been released so far. So, I haven't too terribly played too much of most of the DLC characters. The ones I think are probably the best overall that I've played so far, enjoy. Now, Phase 4, which is just a clone basically of Kasumi, 50-50 how I feel about Phase 4. I don't really think necessary character you need to buy unless you just want to have all the characters and try all the different characters and stuff. I can understand as somebody who does like to try every character out. That is a weakness of mine. But that's the only DLC I actually buy, is just the characters. I won't buy any of the costumes or anything. I'm not wasting money on that stupid crap. With that said, overall, some of the characters, one of my personal favorites of the DLC characters was probably the character Rachel, known as Fiend Hunter. I believe she made an appearance in the Ninja Gaiden series, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, Mai returns. Another, actually, KOF character is also in the game. How does my play? She pretty much plays the same as she did in Dead or Alive 5 last round. So, with that said, there's no real major difference gameplay aspect wise for Mai. So, if you like the way Mai played in Dead or Alive 5 last round, you're gonna enjoy her. She's really no different in this game. I think she is still really solid, plays well, and I think her design and everything is better in Dead or Alive than in King of Fighters. Sorry to KOF fans, but that's how I feel. I think she plays better, and I like her overall design better in Dead or Alive with the uh, Team Ninja engine and stuff that they use. And this newer character, well, new character for me to really play. Um, this I'm trying really right now to get the hang of her gameplay. Obviously, there's an elemental type element to her attacks being ice, while Mai is, of course, fire. So, kind of makes sense, fire and ice. Some of your DLC characters, you have one which is like, I forget her name. She's like the daughter of one of the previous bosses, specifically the boss from DOA 2. Gameplay-wise, she's not that impressive, but she actually, some of her abilities and stuff are actually quite fun. And then I forget, like, one of the most recent DLC characters, her name. So far, they have not had any male DLC characters. Yeah, I get it. The main core audience and stuff, a lot of people who play Dead or Alive are playing for, of course, specific reasons, waifus. Or waifu, however you want to pronunciate it. But anyways, with that said, over and done, out of the way, how music, as always, is really good and solid. That's one thing. I can't really think of a single DOA album that is actually genuinely bad at all. Not in my opinion in the least. I have yet to play a Dead or Alive game with a bad soundtrack. And I can't say that about many other fighting games out there. There really are not many fighting games where every single game has had a pretty solid CD, or rather soundtrack. And just like all the previous games, though, I think Dead or Alive 3 and Dead or Alive 2 are probably the two best soundtracks for me personally, though I like Dead or Alive 5 a lot. But Dead or Alive 6 is really good. I actually like the soundtrack to DOA 6 more than DOA 1 or DOA 4. But with that said, gameplay aspect. The most important part to this game is the gameplay. Well, some people also graphics and stuff, which of course it's a Dead or Alive game, so you know the graphics are going to be very solid, crisp, really good in the detail department. Heck, they do a good job where you can see like sweat, dirt, and stuff. It's insane the amount of detail. Really, when you look into it, and it's insane. And yes, this game can do, I believe, play in 4K if you have 4K TV and everything. Also, gameplay, it's never been better. I like the new special like attack mechanic and stuff they introduced in this game with a super move. I actually like that. I'm not surprised they decided to add a little bit more spectacle or whatever, if you will, to the game. It makes sense because more and more fighting games are going that route, having specials. I mean, Mortal Kombat, since the remake, or the reboot, if you will, MK9, with the X-rays and everything, they've had, which is more or less a special. Of course, you had introduced in Soul Calibur 4 as well, specials and stuff, though not as big a deal in Soul Calibur 5, though it's become a very key element in Soul Calibur 6 and many other games. I mean, it's really become a big thing to have like special super moves in a game. I mean, even has like a gauge and stuff you build up in this game. So it's in a lot of ways a lot like other current gen fighting games. So with that said, gameplay has never been more solid. It still plays very good, very responsive. Netcoding, quickly get into this before I finish up and give my verdict on the game. But netcoding isn't too bad. I feel it's a little bit better than netcode in DOA 5 was. DOA 5 last round was okay-ish. Dead or Alive 6 does play a little bit better than Dead or Alive 5 online. It's the best game so far in the series with netcode. It's not as good as other fine games I've played in more recent time online, such as, of course, Marvel Infinite, or Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 11. I feel are like right now the three, well, and of course Killer Instinct. In my opinion, are about the best games in that department. I do think netcoding wise, I think Dead or Alive 6 plays better than Marvel vs. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 does, in my opinion. It plays better than that. Street Fighter 5 is hard to predict with the netcoding. It can be sometimes really good, sometimes not. I would probably put Dead or Alive 6 around the same level as Tekken 7 in netcode. So with that said, that's not too bad. Overall, rounding up, what do I grade DOA 6? In the graphics department, it gets an A+. In the gameplay department, on mechanics and everything, also gets an A+. Am I happy with the DLC practices? It gets a D+ in that department. Though I will say the DLC characters do play very good. The mechanics are awesome. A+ for the music. Netcoding is I think, C+. Overall, for me personally, I give Dead or Alive 6 because of still missing certain modes I think is key to the series. There's no tag team mode in DOA 6 for some reason, and I'd like to know why that is. Like, you still have survival, you still have time attack, all the basics, arcade, all that, but no team battle, and that's always been a big thing since going back to DOA 3. So, in that area, missing mode does downgrade a little, but with that, overall, I give Dead or Alive 6 a, not A, but I give Dead or Alive 6 a B+. It's still a solid game, even if it doesn't get an A. I still think it's more than worth going out and buying. If you like the Dead or Alive series, or you like fighting games with really good, rich battle mechanics in the gameplay aspect, this is a game, honestly, for you. I mean, if you've played Dead or Alive before, you know what you're getting. You're gonna have a really good, superb fighting combat system. That's one thing that's always been good about this series, is the in-game fighting mechanics. It's probably the best fighting game franchise, in my opinion, when it comes to battle mechanics. It's just, I wish they would cut back on the freaking, all of the freaking skimpy clad crap. I just wish they would cut back on it and focus more on the gameplay aspects. But I get it, your major clientele base is male, so I get where you're coming from. Male and straight male, more specifically, obviously. But with that said, that's my review for Dead or Alive 6. So leave a comment. What's your opinion on Dead or Alive 6? What's your opinion on the Dead or Alive franchise as a whole? But as I said, I give this game a B+, and I'll see y'all next time. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel.